debate coming out of this one. Who should have got the belt? Sammy or Austin? Well, I mean, Austin, like, I know he scored 60 goals before, but it's extremely rare to score 60 goals. It's way more rare to score 60 goals than get a shutout. Okay, but think about this. When the Leafs lost 9-3 to Buffalo in Buffalo, what seemed more likely to happen? That Austin Matthews would hit 60 goals or Ilya Samsonov would ever get a shutout again? Oh, damn. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow! Let's go! Good. We all feel good. Stop! Never gets rusty! What am I doing? Into my kitchen! Producer Drew, can you fix all this? And when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs, you can crumple, yeet! Saw that going differently. With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Victory Puppies 60! We're gonna do a fadeaway for 60. Here we go. Oh! Ow, gee! I whacked my head off Cujo. I'm getting attacked by dogs. 6-0, baby! Leafs win! 3-0 over the Buffalo Sabres. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen with a Save of the Year candidate. Later in the game, Samsonov makes an even better one, and Matthews gets his 60th finally. Now, finally seems like a ridiculous thing to say because I look here at my phone and it turns out that Matthews' last goal was 2 games ago. That was an empty netter against the Devils, though. His last goal against a goalie was against the Edmonton Oilers 4 games ago. And it happens sometimes. It happens to the best goal scorers in the sport. It happens to everyone. They speed up on their way to a milestone, or they grind to a halt, or they get stuck at a number that ends in 9. And if you saw that reaction from Matthews after finally hitting 60, I don't think that will be his last. Also, Matthews only played 16 minutes and 21 seconds in this game. Am I seeing that? Oh, okay. Let's talk about that game. First and foremost, thank you to the Leafs for winning that game. I streamed this game on the SDPN YouTube channel. If you were there, you enjoyed it. And if you weren't there, how dare you? But I'll be doing another one soon. Adam Wilde might be doing one on Tuesday. We just haven't confirmed it yet. We think so. We don't know. But yes, the game is in Buffalo, but this is something I harped on last weekend when the Leafs played the Edmonton Oilers, and then the very next night, travel back-to-back, second half of a back-to-back against a rested team in Carolina. Carolina looked more energized. They were more energized, and even though the Leafs put up a good fight, Carolina won. And you can call that whining or excuses. I call it science! It's rested professional athletes against tired ones, and the rested ones have home ice advantage. Well, okay, in this one, the Sabres had home ice advantage, but a rare situation where the Sabres played last night. Tage Thompson had 4 goals. Maybe he used them all up in that game. And the Leafs come into town. I mean, it's a bus ride. The rested team. They did not play on Friday. The fact that the Leafs were the rested team and the Sabres were the tired team, and also the Leafs are a good team that's going to make the playoffs, and the Sabres are mid-team who is trying to make the playoffs, that was all a recipe for turning a good Friday into a great Saturday. To me, that's what happened in this one. Producer Drew liked to post this chart from MoneyPuck.com. The Buffalo Sabres should have won this game basically 3 out of every 4 times that they play it, on account of they outpossessed the Leafs and they outshot the Leafs. And yes, it is true that the Buffalo Sabres outshot the Leafs 34-22 on the night, but it didn't feel like the Sabres were that dangerous, and it also felt like the Leafs, for the most part, there were a few not so great shifts where they got hemmed in. It felt like the Leafs kind of imposed their will defensively. And it helps that 5 minutes in, they get an elite play from an elite player. William Nylander carves into the Buffalo Sabres zone. The Sabres blow their coverage a little bit. Here's John Tavares with the puck, and this is a really difficult situation for Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen because you're either going to get a point-blank wrist shot laser beam from John Tavares, or he's going to send it over to Bobby McMann for a clap bomb one-timer. Not great defense, often turns into great offense, and John Tavares scores 1-0 Leafs. That's when the defense kicks in because Connor Dewar gets called for the hold. How dare you? Uh-oh, that's a penalty killer going to the box. Usually this season that has meant a goal against, and it didn't. It didn't this time. The Leafs simply held. And that's without Mitch Marner, it's without Calle Yarncroke, it's without Morgan Riley, it's without Joel Edmondson, it's without a lot of guys who are meant to be killing penalties. Oh, and Connor Dewar, who they specifically traded for to help kill penalties, and now he's taking a penalty. So they killed the thing, and that's great. And seconds after getting out of the box, Connor Dewar gets the puck and yeets it over the glass. Rare these days that you ever see a guy take a penalty and then never make his way back to the bench. Can't even get close enough to your coach for him to yell at you. Leafs go to the penalty kill again. And yes, obviously your goaltender needs to be sharp, and Ilya Samsonov made some really good saves in this one. It did feel like he didn't need to be all that sharp until the ridiculous one that he made later. A big reason for this, the Sabres kept going for these cross-ice passes, these cross-crease passes, these cheeky little like semi-pass, semi-shots where they were trying to get a deflection. And very often they did get one, but it would be wide of the net and nowhere dangerous at all. Now, it's a deflection of a rubber hockey puck on ice. Some of that is luck. Bad luck in the Sabres case, but some of that is just being jerks in front of your own net. Being big, being stubborn, tying up sticks. It's not just about being big. Being smart positionally, not getting suckered into bad situations and bad positioning. That is why, despite getting outshot 8-10, the Leafs went into intermission with the 1-0 lead. Second period, a lot like the first, to be honest, because the Leafs score early again, just a hair under 5 minutes in the first period, and this was 2-3-4 into the second. God, that's satisfying. I've said it on here. I've said it on the podcast. This Nyes, Holmberg, Robertson line, I'm just not sure about. They're all players that I'm perfectly cool with individually. I just don't really love them together. I think Holmberg's a good utility player. I would like to see a better center there, frankly. And they're hemmed in here. They're hemmed in bad. And the Sabres are running them ragged. But they finally not only push the puck across their own blue line, but all of a sudden they got a 2-on-1. Robertson and Nyes have got to be dog tired at this point, and you better hope the other three guys go off for a change, because you two, if you get caught, are screwed. You don't need to worry about that, do you? Matthew Nyes, nice pass over to Nicky Bobby, and Robertson just rips the thing with the weirdest shot, the weirdest stance. Robertson is a visually very odd player to watch, but man, when he rips the thing, it is at the speed of light 5-hole on Luukkonen. Robertson's 11th of the season, and hilariously, he's laughing at the end of all of it because he knows that shift was going nowhere at lightning speed. 11th of the season for a dude who does not play high in the lineup, does not get a ton of power play time, does not even play all of the games. Like, Robertson, I know a lot of people are talking about trading the dude. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. He's still so young. He's still got such a skill set with that shot. Keep him. Even if he asks for a trade, keep him. You know what happened? Ilya Mikheyev asked for a trade, and Kyle Dubas said no. He did. No, I'm not trading you. He kept him. And Mikheyev had a fantastic season. And he rode that to a big contract. You know what? Like, yeah, it wasn't here. He ended up signing it in Vancouver. I don't think Mikheyev regrets how that went, how that whole situation went. He stayed in Toronto. He put up big numbers, and he rode it to generational wealth. Good for him. Oh, and also now he's on the Canucks, who have a pretty good shot at the cup, might I add. Don't trade Robertson, unless you're getting something sweet back. You can trade anybody. But if you're trading him just to trade him, I think that's a huge mistake. Then the Leafs go on the power play after that. Things are looking good, much better than the first period. No, it goes away. Matthews takes the hook on Zach Benson. This was a penalty. It was a rare example of Matthews flubbing the puck at the blue line, and then he hooks Benson, and there's a really good chance Benson would have had a breakaway there. I do want to point out that Benson jumped. Producer Drew pointed out on the stream at the time, like, okay, Matthews high-sticking you in the face might scare you. He jumped, though. But once again, a penalty killer in the box. Leafs figure it out. Jake McCabe celebrates that penalty kill by copying Connor Dewar and yeeting the puck over the glass again. The Leafs take 2 puck over the glass penalties in the same game, and another penalty killer goes to the box. Through 2 periods, the Leafs have given up 4 power plays to the Buffalo Sabres, and it's been a penalty killer in the box every time. And this is where coaching comes in. Coaching, when a team can just insert whoever into the lineup and they simply do the good thing. It's the coach. Coaches, the coaching staff, the culture, and the fact that they're playing the Sabres. Yeah, I know. They're not very good. I get it. We've seen the Leafs have plenty of terrible performances against teams that aren't good, though. And despite getting outshot 8-6 in the second period, the Leafs carry a 2-0 lead into the third. Now, there's a few things hanging over this intermission. Leafs are up 2-0. You hope they don't blow it. Leafs are in Buffalo. You extra hope they don't blow it. Samsonov has a shutout going, which I can say now that he's actually secured it, but at the time I didn't want to blow it. And Auston Matthews has 60 on his stick. Now, it was kind of funny because earlier in the game, you're watching Matthews like getting a nice little battles along the boards, and he's doing all the responsible defensive things, and players aren't cheating towards him and passing to him. In the third period, his line mates let it get the better of them. There were a couple times where Bertuzzi and Domi, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You gotta win the game first. Let him get the empty netter. Who cares? Now, Max Domi, I can understand a little bit more than Tyler Bertuzzi because Max Domi is the guy who got absolutely robbed when Matthews took the puck off the Sabre, gave it to Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi sends it cross crease, robbed by Luukkonen, and Domi went, all right, you know what? Maybe just goal scoring is not for me. I'm a playmaker. I'm gonna pass it. But in the third period, Ilya freaking Samsonov, dude. Dylan Cousins robs him. A little bit later, Jeff Skinner, fresh out the box, robs him. Rebound in front, Cousins again, robs him. Look at this, robs him. Sammy. But with under 6 to go, it would go to the offensive end. Doesn't look like much of a play, but the puck is potentially on Matthews' stick. This might be a 2-on-1, and the guy defending the 2-on-1 doesn't have a stick. Luukkonen sticks out the leg, absolutely robs Matthews. Matthews, in a panic, fires the thing to the front of the net, except it doesn't go to the front of the net, it goes off the side of the net. Puck ends up on Connor Timmins' stick at the point. He throws it on. There's a rebound. Auston Matthews, in front of the net on this play, had time to put all the contacts from his old phone into his new phone manually by hand before shooting this thing. And he scores! Auston Matthews finally scores against a goalie of all people. His 60th of the season, just the 9th player in NHL history to have multiple 60-goal seasons. This is the best Leaf ever. Can I show you something funny? The Toronto Maple Leafs posted some stuff to their Instagram page in celebration of Auston Matthews' 60th goal. And I would like to show you some of these photos. Here's a photo right here. This picture was taken in Buffalo, New York. I just thought I would mention that. Here's another one. Oh, I like this one too. I really do. Where was this photo taken? Oh, it was taken in Buffalo, New York. Oh, you know what? No. I really like this one. And shout out to the Leafs for posting this photo from Buffalo, New York. Dude, like Leaf fans often take over when the Sabres play the Leafs in Buffalo. I've never seen it this dominant. That is wild. I can't believe that game wasn't in Toronto. Well, actually, yeah, I can. It was loud. And it was hilarious because there were actually a bunch of empty seats after Matthews got his 60th goal. And my first thought was, those must be Sabres fans. And then my second thought was, no, more likely those were Leaf fans who have tried to get home from a game in Buffalo before. You know what? It's 3-0. Matthews got his 60th. I'm happy. I'm risking it. I'm leaving. And you know what? They might not have made the right choice because even though the game ended 3-0, it got spicy. Don Granato obviously still trying to win the game. The Sabres need to still try to win games. They pull the goalie. Leafs take a penalty, of course. That wasn't cool, but they pull the goalie. Leafs have to kill a 6-on-4, and gosh darn it, the penalty kill does their thing like they were doing all night, and they do kill it, but the Sabres kept their goalie up. And at that point, like, yeah, you gotta try, but you're not really trying to win. You're just trying to spoil the shutout. What really popped things off, when I saw it in real time, I thought there was a fight getting started because Alex Tuch ran over TJ Brody. What actually happened is Tuch was going for a hit on TJ Brody, but he was already knocked down from behind, like stick in the back, boarding TJ Brody by Rasmus Dahlin. It was not a good hit. The official call with just under a minute left in the game is Rasmus Dahlin boarding against TJ Brody, and it was a 2-minute minor. There's a chance the league takes a look at it for maybe a fine. I doubt it. Not every boarding is a thing. Like, it's just a minor penalty. That is what it is. But the ref had the rare opportunity to give us all one of these, the little hand stirring motion. Every single player on the ice, every Leaf, every Sabre got a game misconduct because Bertuzzi was in there being a jerk and Bobby McMahon was in there giving headlocks and being a jerk, and all the Leafs were being jerks, but there were more Sabres on the ice and the refs lost control of the situation very fast. And what's funny is Austin Matthews was like involved in that. I think he was like slow dancing with Tage Thompson. This is 56 seconds to go in a 3-0 game. This is the ref going, you know what? All of you. And I want to hear from people in the comment section. Austin Matthews gets a 10-minute misconduct here. That is the majority of penalty minutes he's even received this season. I want to hear from you. If it is your fantasy playoffs this week and you have Austin Matthews, did you get dock points for that? Is this going to screw up your fantasy playoffs because Matthews got a 10-minute misconduct for doing nothing? Like, here's the penalty summary for the third period. Simone Benoit, interference against Victor Olofsson. I forgot, that call sucked. Jeff Skinner, high-sticking on TJ Brody. You can't do that. Jake McCabe, hooking against Jordan Greenway. Oh, no. Dahlin boarding against TJ Brody. Mark Giordano, game misconduct. Rasmus Dahlin, game misconduct. TJ Brody, game misconduct. Tage Thompson, game misconduct. Tyler Bertuzzi, game misconduct. Owen Power, game misconduct. Austin Matthews, game misconduct. Alex Tuck, game misconduct. Bobby McMahon, game misconduct. Jordan Greenway, game misconduct. JJ Peterka, game misconduct. Dylan Cousins slashing against Matthew Knies after the game. You're watching my live reaction to that. I didn't know that. Okay, I'm going to throw it out there. Having not seen the play, the refs deemed the slash bad enough to call a penalty with literally 0 seconds to go in the game. That should be an automatic fine. At very least, an automatic fine. I mean, it's that or he just got away with the slash. No, he didn't. He got a 2-minute penalty. The game was over! Anyway, lost in all that. 34 saves. Ilya Samsonov, the shutout. Just the hero quote right here. Producer Drew, I'm going to need you to beep this. Joshua Cloakey, Ilya Samsonov on his shutout after losing 9-3 the last time he was in Buffalo. What happened last time? 9 goals? That I've heard enough. Re-sign him right now. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Ilya Samsonov and his unbelievable journey this season. But first, we're going to do Marley Minute with Nick Barden, where we check in on the Leafs AHL farm team, the Toronto Marlies. Now, what we usually do in Marley Minute is focus on individual players. We're going to look at the team here because the team is going through it. A lot of guys are hurt, but they're looking to make a big playoff push.
The Marlies are 4th in the North Division at the time of recording this video, and they need 14 more points to clinch a playoff spot with 9 games remaining on the season. But what stands out to me most as of late is their ability to win games with some key players out of the lineup with injuries. And a few of those injuries are as follows. Kyle Clifford was day-to-day on March 24th with a lower body injury. Kiefer Bellows, who was injured on March 17th, is week-to-week with a lower body injury. Ryan Torberg, week-to-week with an upper body injury that he suffered in the first game on March 27th in Manitoba, and Tommy Miller was listed as out indefinitely with an injury on February 24th. And the Marlies have won 6 of their last 10 games with and sometimes without those key players in the lineup. But whether you watch the Marlies or not, there might be one question on your mind, and that's, can the Marlies go on a run in the Calder Cup playoffs? Depending on whether or not they get some of those key guys back, I'd say yes. I think they're pretty set in goal with Dennis Hildeby. He's been really good as of late. I think you look at the defense with Max Lajoie, Topi Niemela, Cameron Gaunce, William Villeneuve, Marshall Rafai, and Mikko Kokkonen. It's a pretty stable defense. And then you look at the forward group too, which has put up some goals. And if you add Kyle Clifford back, you add Kiefer Bellows back, there is some really good stuff that can happen there. And if their scoring clicks along with everything else, I think this team could pull off a run. And it's just a matter of whether or not they're consistent enough to make those things possible and whether or not they're key in their details. Because if you put consistency together with their details and they're really solid in that, a playoff run could be on the horizon.
Thank you very much, Nick. And honestly, you want to know what the AHL team can do for the NHL team, but I think it's important to get that playoff experience down there. Questions. Chewy says, at certain points in the radio and television broadcasts, the topic of players who have turned it around for the better came up. And I was wondering, which player would you say turned it around the most? Well, okay, there's guys like Bobby McMahon, but I don't think he turned it around. He was just sort of a fourth liner. And I mean, he turned it around. He changed his fortunes by all of a sudden getting hot. But nobody was like, hey, you know who's going to be third on the Leafs in goal scoring over like a 3-month span? Bobby McMahon. So I wouldn't call that turning it around. Simone Benoit, like, all he's done since coming to Toronto is be exactly as advertised, except good. Here's the thing with Tyler Bertuzzi. Yeah, he started terrible, and now he's great. But no one at any point this season was talking about Tyler Bertuzzi never playing in the NHL again. They were talking about him costing himself money on his next deal, but at no point was Tyler Bertuzzi ever in danger of losing his NHL gig. He'd get benched. There were rumors of him getting traded, but he'll get traded somewhere, and you know what? He'll probably be Tyler Bertuzzi again. And here he is, Tyler Bertuzzi again. Ilya Samsonov was washed. I never thought we would see that guy again. Certainly not in a Leaf uniform. Certainly not playing NHL games. Certainly not being a playoff starter caliber goalie. Is he one of the best goalies in the NHL? I don't know if I'd go that far, but he has been playing absolutely excellently since the season turned around, or rather since the calendar turned around. He's first in the NHL in win percentage, which was more of a team stat, but it's the team when he's in net. He's first in the NHL in win percentage in the year of our Lord 2024. He said on the broadcast his save percentage, before the end of the game anyway, was 17th. And you look at that and you go, it's not that good. It was previously 47th. I legitimately did not think we would see Samsonov in a Leaf uniform ever again, and a good chance we don't see him in the NHL for at least a long while. We were talking about him playing games with the Marlies. Dude, Sammy is Sammy from last year, which is a flawed goalie who is also an extremely good goalie and will give you games and an opportunity to win every night. That was Sammy every game last year. He'll let in the occasional stinker. He'll usually be pretty good. The Sammy that we saw October to December, especially in December, was unusable. That's a turnaround to me, and he's the biggest turnaround on this team by far. Another good point here from Kevin Papetti. It's tough to believe that all three of Ilya Samsonov, Bobby McMahon, and Simone Benoit cleared waivers at some point this season. The Leafs deserve some waivers luck after even Harri Sateri was claimed. Do you still not believe my conspiracy theory that NHL GMs just wanted to screw with Kyle Dubas? They claimed Harri Sateri, and the Leafs put their starting goalie on waivers. They put Benoit, who played 74 games last year, and they put Bobby McMahon on waivers. They didn't lose any of them? No, you're right. They did lose William Lagesson. Well, maybe they shouldn't have done that. Alan says, Matthews is going to end up with 67 goals, isn't he? You know what? Good. I don't care. What are there, 8 games left? He scores 7 goals over the next 8 games, I'll be happy. And if he ends up with 67 as a Leaf, and that's the record, it's fitting. Let's be honest. Storm Ruffian says, Bovey Headlock McVetchkin. Yes, this is officially Bobby McMahon's nickname going forward. J Money posts a picture of, I think it's Tyler Bertuzzi hugging Alex Tuck and saying, why isn't this us, Steve? Why do you keep breaking my heart? It could be us, but you keep playing. Also, I'm a married father of 2. Natasha says, what is the name? Oh no. What is the name of the arena that Austin Matthews just scored his 60th goal in called? Dude, no! For those of you who don't get this, we did a bit, it's up on the SCPN YouTube channel, where we had to do a trivia. We had to guess the names of all 32 arenas in the NHL. I don't think I knew Buffalo's. I didn't do very good. Dude, the name of the arenas don't matter. But, considering Matthews just scored, it was on the broadcast all night. They were in that building all night. I was streaming the game. The Leafs are in the same division as the Sabres. I've been to this place multiple times. I don't know the name. Natasha, you got me. I have to Google it now. Drew, I want you to get my live reaction. KeyBank Center. No, I didn't know that. I'm acting like I knew that. I didn't know. KeyBank Center, it sounds like an arena. Like, I know that's the name of an arena. Never would have guessed Buffalo. That Buffalo would have been like my 9th guess. Well, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends, hey, you're not having that great of a time? Maybe you can turn it around like Sammy. Yeah, we could talk about Matthew's 60th goal. We did talk about Matthew's 60th goal. That's the dude I want you to try to emulate right now. A dude who turned it all around, and life's pretty pretty good for him right now, and he's saying things that belong on t-shirts.